What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for clicking on the video, tuning in. It means a lot. We're growing. The channel's growing, and I have you all to thank. Those that follow, those that subscribe, those that like, share, comment, thumbs up. I don't say it on every video, but every once in a while, I just want to let everybody know that I really do appreciate it. I do want to grow, keep growing. Don't really have a number in mind. Just whatever is my territory to have, I'm fine with that. If it stops right here and this is my territory, I'm fine. If it grows a little bigger, much bigger, whatever, just whatever my territory is, I want to work it and I have you all to thank. So I appreciate it. I want to talk about something that's on my mind today. Hopefully this won't be heavy, but it is something that I hear a lot in the day and age of social media, just being out and about, listening to people, taking it all in, trying to put my own spin on it. I realize that we live in a day and a time that all of us can say certain things, not even really realize what we say, what we mean, and then we try to live our life through something that we don't even understand and get frustrated, don't know why we're frustrated because it wasn't, it didn't have no substance to it anyway. So I just want to talk about it. I hear a lot of women talk about not settling. I'm not going to settle. I know my worth. I know my value. I'm not going to settle. And, you know, you say something a certain way, it can sound good. You know what I mean? It can sound like, yeah, don't settle, girl. Yeah. And, we're living in a time where women in particular have made greater advancements, I would say, than men just because of where women was at before. So it's not that men have necessarily fallen behind. It's just women have bridged that gap, especially in economics, financially, education. Women, y'all got y'all degrees now. You're coming with degrees. You're coming with money. You're coming with the bag. You're coming with substance. You're buying your own houses. It wasn't too long ago, really, that women weren't even able to buy their own house. The man would have to get it. Now, women, there's no problem. Women go get a house, buy a car, without a co-signer, whatever. They doing their thing. On top of that, we're living in a time and in a society that's this has kind of always been there. I don't know if it's been to the level that it is now, where women are practicing hypergamy. Of course, that's dating up, marrying up. So now women are already coming in at a certain level and then saying on top of that, I want even another level. So I want you to see here, because I'm trying to paint a picture how if we're not careful, we can produce a fantasy that's going to be very hard to bring to pass. Hold on, let me adjust my microphone here. Hopefully y'all don't hear too much clatter. Sorry about that if you heard it. If we're not careful, we can produce a fantasy that is going to be very hard to fulfill by trying to keep going beyond where we are. Let's be very clear, and I say this because I try to be a realist. Women already outnumber men, so that means going to be fewer men in society than women, period. Doesn't matter if he's rich, doesn't matter if he's poor, doesn't matter if he's middle. Women are outnumbering men, period. So therefore, there's already going to be a shortage of men just based upon the number of women. We have to understand that. There's always going to be more women than men. So I don't want to say the pickings are slim. It's just men have more options than women. Let's get that clear. Men have more options. Not because we're whatever. This has nothing to do with anything that we are doing other than the fact that we are a man and we are less than women in terms of numbers. Period. You understand? If there's more women and fewer men, then men have more to choose from. But if the women are saying, I'm not going to settle and I'm going to choose higher than even where I am, and women are higher than they've ever been, look how slim that margin is for them to be able to choose a man or a mate that they could be compatible with and try to enjoy the rest of their life with, or whatever it is that they're trying to do. So that's why I said I wanted to talk about settling, because you hear women say, I do not want to settle. I know my worth, I know my value. I don't want to settle. What is settling then? If women do not want to settle, then somebody is going to have to identify what is settling. And are we only talking about finance? Are we only, somebody, y'all help me in the comments. You ladies, I don't want to try to think for you all. I'm just giving what men are hearing and how we're going to perceive this. When a woman says, I'm not going to settle, I don't want to settle, is she only talking about finance? Is she saying, if I'm making 90,000 a year, I'm not settling for anybody that makes less than 90,000 a year? Is that what settling means? What does settling mean? Because it it has, and this is how I see it. When I hear it, this is how I hear it. It does not have a positive ring to it, if that makes sense. To hear somebody say, I settled for that job, it means there was a better job, or I thought there was a better job. I either could not wait for that job. I'll give you an example. The job I am now, which I'm happy for and grateful for. I left UPS in Missouri when I took this job. I gave up my Teamsters card of the union so I wouldn't have to continue to pay. My wife at the time, we just had our second child. We come here. I immediately want to go to work. Waste Management hires me pretty much on the spot. I mean, literally, they hired me on the spot. There was a new contract in town, and they was like, you just passed the drug test and you got the job. Been here ever since. But the pay difference of UPS to Waste Management, I could say I settled for Waste Management. But what I will be saying is I could have made more if I would have waited for an opening to open up in this area in for UPS, which might have took a year or two, whoever retired, whatever, because ain't nobody quitting them type job, especially not in '08 when everything was going nuts anyway. So I could say I settled, right? And I'm grateful for my job now. I am. But I will be speaking only on a financial point of view. I took something that was paying me less than what I was making before I settled. So when a woman say, I'm not going to settle, then it sounds like she's saying, I'm not going to take less of a man than what I'm worth. But are you speaking of money, or are you speaking of character? Because I don't really hear character being brought into the discussion. I don't, other than the goofball shows where the woman is showing up with 4 or 5 kids, has been with whoever she want to be with, 4 or 5 kids, 4 baby daddies, and she'll use the phrase, I want a godly man. That's the only time you hear character there. She wants a godly man. Okay, that's a that's a high, you know, adjective to describe a man. But other than that, in the real world, I don't really hear women using character as what they're no longer going to settle for. Women, it's all in the comments, have been in marriages, relationships, been misused, abused, whatever, mistreated, whatever the women are saying that they had to go through. that would speak to, and there's always two sides to every story, I understand that. But just from their side, it would speak to the character of a man. How he mistreated her, how he, whatever, right? Didn't pay her no attention, big to the point, whatever he had going on, they no longer together, and now she not gonna settle. What is it that she not gonna settle for? Are you asking for a man with esteem, utmost character that can treat you well, and can he make what you make or less than you make? If he treats you well, if he treats you with respect, if you can treat him with respect, if he is able to get along with your kids, if you're able to get along with his kids, are these the things that women are saying we're not taking less than that? Or are they saying because of my worth, and they're putting some type of dollar amount on there, because of my education, because of my career, because I'm a businesswoman, because I'm a business owner, now he has to come up to this level, I will not settle. And if it's just status, then I'm going to say you're setting yourself up for failure, because status can be one thing and character can be another thing. And then in 20 years, we got to do a whole new chapter where women then begin to say, ladies, it's not about his money, it's about his character. Give me a broke man with great character and I'll be okay. And we don't want to have to take 20 years for this thing to spin around a revolution before we realize what it really is that we want in the first place. So when you say I'm not going to settle, what are you not settling for? What is it that you're not going to put up with? What is it that you're not going to bow down to and allow yourself to be a part of? Is it a broke man? Is that what it is? What is it? Is it respect? What is it? You don't really hear men speak. We know what we don't want to deal with. If we've been married or in a long-term relationship with them, men know what we don't want to deal with no more. We know that. We already know she too much like so and so. I don't want no parts of that. We understand that. But you don't really hear men saying the word, I'm not going to settle. We may not settle, but that's not the kind of language that we use. Normally, when you hear that language, it is coming from a woman. So I want to know, what does it really mean to not settle? Is it just money? Is it lifestyle? Is it status? What is it that no woman is going to settle for? If y'all will help me out, get in the comments. Let's talk about it.